I quit drinking alcohol 180 days ago, and I need to tell you something most people don't expect. The biggest change wasn't my liver, it wasn't my skin, it wasn't even the sleep. The biggest change was this. My brain stopped negotiating with poison, because that's what drinking really is for most people, a constant negotiation. I'll only drink on weekends. I'll just have 2. I'll start Monday. I'll be good this time. And the insane part is, we call that normal. We call the struggle normal. We call cravings normal. We call shame normal. We call anxiety normal. But we never call the product what it actually is. A drug that trains your brain to believe it needs it. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through what I've noticed after 180 days without alcohol. Not in some fake Instagram life is perfect now way, but in the real way, the nervous system way, the identity way, the social life way, the why does my brain feel quieter? And I'll be honest, some changes hit fast, some took months, and one of them surprised me so much, it genuinely made me angry. I didn't stop sooner. But before we get to day 180, you need to understand day 3. Because day 180 doesn't make sense until you see what alcohol was doing in the background. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online, and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address, and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now. Most people think quitting alcohol is about removing something, like you're losing a friend or giving something up. But what I learned is quitting isn't removal, it's reversal. You're reversing a conditioning process that's been running for years, sometimes decades. A process that taught your brain, alcohol equals relief, alcohol equals confidence, alcohol equals turning off, alcohol equals belonging. So when you stop drinking, it's not just, I'm sober now. It's your brain recalibrating its entire definition of comfort. And that's why the first thing I noticed wasn't happiness. It was exposure. Like I suddenly couldn't hide from my own nervous system anymore. For the first few days, everything felt louder, not externally, internally. The silence felt too silent. The evenings felt too long. My thoughts felt too present. And my brain started tossing up old ideas like a desperate salesman. You've had a hard day. You deserve it. Just one to take the edge off. You'll sleep better. You'll be more social. You'll relax. Here's the weird part. Those thoughts weren't rational. They were automatic, like a reflex. And that's when it clicked for me. Alcohol wasn't my problem. Alcohol was my solution. Not a good solution. Not a clean solution. Not a solution without consequences, but a solution to something. Stress, overthinking, social tension, pressure, loneliness, boredom, that low-grade restlessness that makes you want to crawl out of your skin. That's why so many people fail with willpower, because willpower is trying to remove the solution without addressing the problem the solution was solving. So if you've ever thought, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just stop? I want you to hear this clearly. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken, you're conditioned. And conditioned things can be unconditioned. This next part matters, because people think craving is a personality flaw. It's not. Craving is chemistry plus meaning. Alcohol doesn't just feel good. It teaches your brain what it's for. Biologically, alcohol boosts the brain's braking system and dampens the brain's accelerator, which is why the first drinks can feel like relief. Your nervous system slows down. Your brain adapts. It's always adapting. If you keep forcing calm from the outside, your brain downregulates its ability to create calm from the inside. So when alcohol leaves your system, your nervous system is temporarily out of balance. That's why you get irritability, anxiety, restlessness. It's not you being weak, it's your brain rebalancing the seesaw. That's why day 3 is such a big deal. Because it's the moment your brain starts remembering, oh, I can settle without a chemical override. Somewhere between day 3 and day 7, I felt the first subtle shift. Not fireworks, not angels singing. More like the volume knob moved one notch down. My baseline anxiety started dropping, not because life got easier, but because my brain started relearning how to settle itself. Alcohol gives you calm on credit, and then it charges interest. So when you stop, at first you feel the debt. Then slowly, your brain starts earning calm again naturally. I noticed it in tiny moments. I'd be washing dishes and realize I wasn't rushing to finish so I could pour a drink. I'd be sitting on the couch and realize I wasn't bargaining. I'd get a stressful email and realize I didn't instantly want to escape my own body. That's not motivation. That's neurological recovery. Then we get to sleep. Oh my God, sleep. People talk about sobriety like it's a moral decision. No, it's a biological upgrade. Because alcohol doesn't give you sleep, it gives you sedation. There's a difference. Alcohol can knock you out faster. It wrecks the architecture of sleep. It fragments it. It messes with deep sleep and REM. So you sleep 8 hours and wake up feeling like you got hit by a truck. For me, the first big change wasn't that I slept longer. It was that I woke up without dread. Not every day, but more and more. And that alone changed everything. If you've ever woken up after drinking and felt that low-grade panic, the tight chest, the racing mind, what did I say? Feeling you know what I'm talking about. It's not just a hangover. It's your nervous system ringing the alarm bell. By week 2, my mornings stopped feeling like punishment, and I realized something that still annoys me. I had been living in a constant state of recovery. Even when I thought I was fine, I was always recovering from last night, recovering from the anxiety spike, recovering from the sleep disruption, recovering from inflammation, dehydration, and shame. When you stop drinking, you don't just feel better, you stop paying that daily tax. Now let's talk about the body stuff, because I'm not gonna pretend it's not part of it. Your body's not separate from your mind. When your body is inflamed, tired, and chemically dysregulated, your thoughts get darker, your patience gets thinner, your stress tolerance drops. For me, around weeks 2 to 4, my resting heart rate calmed down, my body felt less on edge, and something I didn't expect, my digestion started normalizing. Because alcohol doesn't just hit your liver, it irritates the gut lining, disrupts your microbiome, and contributes to that bloated, puffy, why do I feel heavy feeling. And when your gut is irritated, your mood can take a hit too, because your gut and brain are in constant conversation. Now, food and weight. People either oversell this or avoid it completely. Here's the truth. In the first month, I didn't magically become shredded, but something happened that mattered more. My appetite normalized, my cravings normalized, and I realized alcohol wasn't just extra calories. It was a decision disruptor. Once you drink, your brain stops voting for your future and starts voting for comfort. So you're not just drinking, you're snacking, you're ordering more, you're skipping workouts, you're waking up tired and saying, I'll start tomorrow. Alcohol isn't one bad choice. It's a multiplier of bad choices. So when I removed it, I didn't become perfect, but my decisions got cleaner. My default got healthier. And over months, that compounds. Now this next phase is where a lot of people get blindsided. Around day 30 to day 60, my emotions came back. And I don't mean I became emotional. I mean I became accurate. Alcohol blunts everything: sadness, joy, stress, connection, even excitement. So when you stop, it's like you regain full resolution. At first, that can feel uncomfortable because you can't blur your life anymore. If something is wrong, you feel it. If something is missing, you feel it. If a relationship is draining you, you feel it. If you've been avoiding decisions, you feel it. A lot of people misinterpret that as sobriety is depressing. No, sobriety is honest. It shows you what you were numbing. And that's why so many people relapse, not because they miss alcohol, but because they don't know how to be with themselves without anesthesia. But here's the good news, that honesty becomes power. Because once you feel clearly, you can finally adjust your life instead of escaping it. And that's where the real anger hit for me. Not I'm angry at alcohol. I was angry that I had been trained to believe numbing is normal. Like it's normal to need a chemical just to tolerate your own evenings. It's normal to need a drug to take the edge off your own life. That's not normal. That's conditioning. And once you see it, it's hard to unsee. Confidence. This one is huge because people think alcohol gives them confidence. What it gives you is permission. Permission to be louder, permission to be bolder, permission to not care as much. But permission is not confidence. Confidence is trust. And alcohol destroys trust with yourself. You make promises you don't keep. You set rules, you break. You wake up and think, Why did I do that? After enough cycles, you stop believing your own words. You can look successful on the outside, but inside, you feel unreliable, like your own mind is not a safe place. Around 90 days, something started rebuilding. It wasn't hype confidence, it was grounded confidence. I started trusting myself again, and it came from the simplest thing. I do what I say now. That creates a quiet confidence that no motivational speech can give you, because you can't talk yourself into self-respect. You earn it. Now let's talk about the part everyone's scared of, social life. People think quitting means isolation. They think it means becoming boring. They think it means missing out. I had the same fear. The first few times I went out sober, I won't lie, it felt weird. I felt like I was watching everyone from behind glass. Because alcohol isn't just a drink, it's a social ritual. It's a social permission slip. And at first, when you don't participate, your brain goes, am I allowed to be here? But then something fascinating happens. You start seeing the pattern. There's a window at the start of the night where people are genuinely connecting. They're present, they're laughing. And then there's a point, usually a few drinks in, where the vibe shifts. Not always dramatically, but subtly. People get louder, not funnier, more repetitive, more sensitive, more performative, more disconnected. And you realize something. A lot of social drinking isn't connection. It's synchronized numbing. Everyone is slightly disconnected together, feels like bonding, but it's bonding through impairment. After 180 days, my social life didn't die. It got more selective. I stopped doing things I didn't even enjoy. I stopped forcing vibes. I stopped pretending loud equals fun. I started having better nights. Not perfect nights, real nights. Deeper conversations, more real laughs, more mornings I actually remembered. And here's the biggest social upgrade of all. I stopped needing the room to change for me to feel okay. That's what alcohol does. It makes you feel okay by changing your chemistry. But sober confidence is the ability to be okay in the room as it is. No chemical negotiation required. Now, focus and productivity. This is the part high performers love, because after 180 days, it's ridiculous how much time comes back. Not just the time you spend drinking, the time you spend thinking about drinking, planning it, debating it, recovering from it, cleaning up the emotional mess after it. That's the hidden cost. Alcohol takes hours, and then it takes the next day, and then it takes mental bandwidth for the next week. So around 120 days, I noticed my days felt longer. Not in a painful way, in a I actually have a life way. I'd finish work and still have energy. I'd wake up and actually want to do something. I wasn't constantly trying to return to baseline. I was building forward. And this is where the identity shift happened. You don't quit drinking by fighting alcohol forever. You quit drinking by becoming someone who doesn't drink. That sounds simple, but it's a completely different strategy. Most people try to stay a drinker who is constantly resisting drinking. So every event becomes temptation. Every Friday becomes a battle. Every stressor becomes, will I relapse? That's exhausting. Somewhere between day 90 and day 180, I stopped seeing alcohol as a reward. I started seeing it as what it really is, a substance that steals tomorrow, a substance that offers relief and quietly demands more, a substance that doesn't solve stress, it postpones it and adds more. Once that perspective locks in, you don't feel deprived, you feel free. That's the switch flip people talk about. It's not magic, it's perception. If you see alcohol as relief, you crave it. If you see alcohol as the thing that creates the need for relief, the spell breaks. And I know that sounds like mindset talk, but it's deeper than mindset. It's meaning. When the meaning changes, the desire changes. Now, I wanna be real with you. Not everything got better instantly. There were moments I felt bored, moments I felt like an outsider, moments I missed the fantasy of a drink, not the drink itself, the fantasy. The idea that it would make the night special. The idea that it would make me turn off. But every time I watched someone get louder, sloppier, every time I watched the vibe shift from fun to messy, every time I watched someone wake up and hate themselves the next day, I realized something that changed the way I see alcohol. Alcohol doesn't create fun, it borrows it. It takes tomorrow's peace and spends it tonight. And after 180 days, I don't miss it because I can finally see it clearly. Now, here are the specific 180-day changes that matter most, because this is the stuff nobody can fully explain until you feel it. 1, my baseline mood is steadier, not euphoric, steady. No dramatic spikes and crashes. And that's underrated because peace isn't fireworks. Peace is consistency. 2, My stress tolerance is higher because I'm actually processing stress now, not escaping it. So my nervous system is stronger. It's like training a muscle. The more you face life without chemical cushioning, the more capable you become. 3, my relationships are cleaner. I communicate more directly. I remember conversations. I don't apologize for things I don't even remember doing. And that alone changes the dynamic. 4, my self-respect is back. And you can't fake that. You can have money, success, followers, and still feel hollow if you don't respect yourself. Sobriety builds self-respect because it's proof every day is a vote for who you are. 5, my cravings for escape are lower. And this is the one that surprised me most. I thought I drank because life was stressful. But after 180 days, I realized drinking was one of the main things making life feel stressful. It was constantly destabilizing my sleep, mood, and nervous system. When that stopped, life didn't become perfect, but it became manageable. Quick note, if you drink heavily and you're thinking of quitting, please don't be reckless about it. Depending on your situation, alcohol withdrawal can be dangerous. Talk to a medical professional if you need to. There's no pride in suffering, only pride in getting free safely. Let me close with the real takeaway. This video isn't about me hitting day 180 like it's a trophy. It's about what day 180 reveals. And here's what it revealed to me. Most people aren't drinking because alcohol is amazing. They're drinking because they believe a story. A story that says alcohol equals relaxation. Alcohol equals confidence. Alcohol equals fun. Alcohol equals belonging. And that story is everywhere. In movies, music, social culture, the way we celebrate, grieve, date, network, and cope. But once you see the mechanics, once you see that alcohol is a drug that creates the desire it promises, to satisfy the illusion starts cracking. And when the illusion cracks, freedom becomes possible. Not through struggle, through clarity. So if you're watching this and you're on day 1, or day 7, or day 30, or still drinking and just curious, here's the line I want to leave you with. You don't need more willpower. You need a new understanding. Because the moment you truly see what alcohol is, you stop asking, how do I resist this? And you start asking, why would I want it? And that question changes everything. And if you're ready for a change and want to see how millions of people are quitting alcohol without struggling with cravings, click the video on the screen now.